Hello guys and welcome back to the garage. It's time again to do some modifications. I haven't got this running properly yet because I got some issues with the clutch. This is the clutch, and my problem is that this outer clutch plate here gets stuck in a basket. So it's really tight, so it gets stuck. And I don't know if it's the new discs that are of poor quality, or if the clutch basket is worn out or something, but it gets stuck anyway, so it doesn't work. So I'm going to change the clutch. Since I'm going to change it, I will change it to a Cosa-clutch, reinforced, and this is the same 23 teeth straight cut. The other thing that I had an issue with is that the bike cuts out in high revs, and it's not fuel related or anything. I think it's the ignition, and I have had some issues with this ignition before, so that's why I've now decided to change the whole thing. So what I'm going to go for is the Zip or Vape, whatever you want to call it. It's made by Vape, in this case for Zip, so they put their name on it. You can buy this from Scooter Center, and then it's just called Vape. And I've chosen the road version with static timing. I feel that's good enough for me, and I've chosen the DC version because I have the battery. And the part number for this is 51007RD0. So this will have a lighter flywheel compared to the original one, so that's good. But this doesn't work with electric starter. I think the only version of these Zip Vape ignitions that works with electric starter, that have the cog for the electric starter, is the classic one. And then I don't think the flywheel will be any lighter or anything. So, but that doesn't matter to me. I don't need the electric starter. So, but I think that's the case. There's only one version that got the electric starter. And I also bought a new spark plug cap for this. And this is called LB05EMH. And that's the one Zip recommends for this, so it should work. And in this kit you obviously get a CDI unit, like this. And to fit this to your bike, you need to buy a bracket. They don't include the bracket in this kit, which I think is weird, because I mean this is quite expensive. You should get the bracket. So I'm not buying the bracket because, as I said, I think it should be included. So I have to figure something out myself to fit this. I'm going to start with clutch, and you've seen that a million times before, so we don't need to go through that. When changing clutch, you have to think about how many teeth you want on it. In my case 23, and if you're going to have a straight cut cog or a helicoil cut cog, so bear that in mind when you're buying a new clutch. In the delivery of this Vape ignition, you get a manual, your flywheel, stator, ignition cable. You have all the screws and nuts and bolts. Got this, I guess it's the voltage regulator. And this I bought on the side. I have the CDI unit and this one to attach the stator to. That's it. We're going to try to do this according to the manual. And first off, we're going to mount this on this base plate using these 3 screws, and you're going to apply thread lockers to them. So I have that. And this can only fit one way. You have to be careful so that you don't squeeze the cables here. There is no torque mentioned, but since we're using thread locker, I don't think that's an issue. This is going onto the bike. Then we're going to set this stator plate to the mark in the middle here. And that should, according to the manual, be around 20 degrees. I'm going to have 19 degrees later on, but we will start here and then we'll check this later on. So, on the middle mark. So the next step here is to mount this CDI or coil, whatever you want to call it. And as I mentioned, you need to buy a special bracket for this, which I'm not intending to do. So I'm just going to figure out some way to put this in place. This was quite easy for me not using the bracket, because since I'm not going to have the electric starter cog here, I removed my starter motor here. So I used this upper screw that was for the starter motor, and I connected the plate of the coil to that. So now it's stuck there. And then I need to, you should put the brown wire onto the bracket of this coil, of the bracket that I didn't buy, but I can attach that here to the old holes where the original bracket was before, because this is only going to ground. So now I can connect the white and red here and the ground. Then you get this connector plug, and in this you put your red and white wire, and it's going to be like that, and then the white one should be here and the red one should be here. There we go. And now I'm going to attach this brown one down here. The green one here is going to the blue and white one, so we need to put on another connector here. So remove this and put this in place instead, and then connect it to this one. Now that's in place, and we are going to continue with the blue and the black one. So I'm going to cut this away and put some connectors on it and put them together. Now all the wires are hooked up here, but there's one thing that you need to know, and that is, if you have a zip rev counter, which I have, you need to, according to this, if the DC version of is used in combination with a zip rev counter, you will need to either use the Cosa rev signal filter or connect the brown wire of the zip rev counter to the white wire of the zip CDI. So I need to attach my cable to this one. So I have that to do also. Now I'm going to go ahead and mount the rotor here. So that's the next plan. And I'm going to remove the spark plug and put in a piston stopper. Piston stopper in place. I mounted my rotor and my degree disc here. There we go. Now it's against the piston stopper. It's against the piston stopper and it's aligned at exactly 0 degrees. Then we turn it counterclockwise without moving the degree disc until we hit the piston stopper again. There we go. I would say that's at 102 degrees. So I got 102 degrees. So next step is to calculate top dead center. Divide in half your measured value, remove piston stopper, turn the rotor exactly to the determined value. In my case, 102 divided by 2 is 51, so I'm going to rotate it to 51. So at 51 degrees here, in my case, I have top dead center, and I can feel that by putting a screwdriver or something in the hole. I can feel that I really am at top dead center. Now I'm going to align, if it's possible to see, you have this mark here, and then you have a mark down here. We're going to align those, and then we're going to read out the value here. So this is not that easy to see, I guess.
I would say somewhere there. And then we have 29, I think. So this would mean 51 minus 29 is equal to 22. That means that my ignition is 22 degrees advanced, and I want 19 degrees. Now I loosen the stator plate screws here, all three of them. Then I'll turn this clockwise because I want less advanced. I want to go from 22 degrees to 19. And I can check my marks here. And that's 3 degrees. And if this is correct, it should be somewhere like that. So now just tighten it and try again. Okay, the piston stopper is out and we are top dead center, 51 degrees. And we turn this until the marks align. And that should be somewhere, I think, like that. And now we have 32 degrees, I think. So 51 minus 32 is equal to 19. And that's what I want, 19 degrees. So if everything's right now, we have 19 degrees, which is what I want. And I'm going to test this with a strobe light later on, but that should not be necessary according to SIP. So this should be so accurate. So next thing is to mount a fan wheel with these screws that have a thread lock on them from the factory, so to speak. These screws should be tightened with 12 to 14 newtons. Okay, now the fan wheel is in place. Now I can go ahead and attach the rotor here, and then I can put my ignition cable in place. As far as I can see, when you have a Vespa of the later models, loosened and so on, with the 5 wire coming from the stator instead of the 7, you should be able to use the original rectifier or regulator instead of this. So I'm going to try to use the original one and not install this, because this doesn't match up with the colors I have on my regulator. So it's not very easy to follow this diagram here, wiring diagram. So I'm going to try without this. Okay, we're back from the test ride, and it works with the original one, the original regulator. So I'm not using this one. So that's it. The Vape ignition is installed. The clutch is installed. The clutch works much better now. No problem with the clutch, and this works well also. So that's good. So that's it for this time. See you in the next one.